Hi besties, thank you so much for taking your time to click on this video. If you're new here, please join the community, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, as usual, I am genuinely very deeply grateful for your loyalty. I don't want to talk much. I just want us to get right into it. Today we're going to have a So today we're going to have a bit of a conversation, and while at it we're going to make a few decisions. The decision that I'm speaking about is we're going to make a decision to try to stop being pushovers, or in other terms, to stop being a doormat, to just try to know how to assert your boundaries better, to try to communicate your boundaries better, be it in friendships or even at your workplace or even in your relationship. So this is an art. It's actually an art. Knowing how to assert boundaries, knowing how to communicate your boundaries is an art. And it's something that you need to learn over time. If you are someone that has struggled, like myself, to, put up boundaries and assert them and maintain them and communicate them, well, this is the right place for you because there are so many of us that are still struggling. I'm not there yet, but I've made some steps and I'm very, very proud of myself. And I'm very happy to, partake this journey with all of you that are watching me, all of you that are listening to me right now. So, I'm going to start by trying to get to the root of it, trying to get to the point itself. How come there are people in this world that know how to put up boundaries and communicate these boundaries effectively, while there are others that have no idea what it means to have boundaries in life? They are always your yes man, they're always ready to do whatever it is that you ask them to do. They're always ready to partake in any activity, regardless of how much it's going to inconvenience them. They don't care about that. They will just do it because they are not able to say no at any point in time. Personally, I think this. I'm going to try to make it a bit personal because this is something that I've been struggling with, and it's something that I'm still trying to work on. So I'm going to try to personalize it as much as I can. Yeah. And I'm sure that there are a few more other people that can actually relate to this topic, that can actually relate to what I'm talking about right now. Well, I feel like most of the time the root cause of not being able to communicate and assert boundaries is codependency. If you are a codependent person, you're someone that is needy. You're someone that is either you're constantly in need of either validation, or you're just in need of, you cannot operate on your own. You cannot operate independently, so to speak. You need to depend on someone else, either for guidance, so to speak. I'll say guidance in quotes because it's not actually guidance. That is, you are actually burdening someone else with your whole life. It's like other people are living your life for you. And you've done that without their consent, because most of the time when you're codependent, you don't ask the other person, could you help me live this life for me? You just find yourself, all the major decisions you have to, as in all the major decisions in your life entirely depend on what every other person close to you thinks about it. If you want to apply for a job, for example, if you want to make friends, or even if you want to pursue a relationship with people, as crazy as this may sound, I've met people that they are actually interested in someone. Let me say a guy. A guy is actually interested in one girl, or is actually interested in pursuing something romantic with a woman, but they must go through all their friends before they make the step. That is quite bizarre, if you ask me, because like, you don't trust your instincts, you don't trust your own judgment, you don't trust anything. You just need to be told whether to do it or not. That is, to a certain extent, that's codependence. Another possible reason that you may have issues with asserting and communicating your boundaries could be you probably not you probably are not a respecter of other people's boundaries. Let me explain that. If you are not a person that could understand no for no, you're not a person that would understand that there's other people that don't like this, they don't like if you overstep, or they don't like something, you don't respect other people's boundaries, you will probably not be able to assert and communicate your own. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. If, for example, you're not someone that someone would tell them, please, I want you to respect my time. If we plan to meet and we say you're going to meet at 3, please show up at 3. And you're not someone that can respect that. You're not someone that can understand that someone has communicated something and you need to respect it. You'll not be able to now communicate to someone else what your boundaries are. I hope that makes some sense. Also, another possible cause of not being able to communicate your boundaries is probably it comes from trauma, probably your childhood. Sorry, probably your childhood trauma. Maybe growing up, you were not listened to, your boundaries were not respected, or your opinions were never mattered, your opinions were never respected. You grow up thinking that your boundaries and your opinions are useless and no one will respect them after all. So you grow up as in subconsciously you will convince yourself or you'll think to yourself that there's no point communicating because no one is going to listen, no one is going to respect it. And if you're in this category, I am genuinely sorry, but I am very happy that there's a possibility of healing your inner child. So it's very possible to reverse this, no matter how deep it is. It's possible to reverse it, it's possible to heal it, and it's possible to make possible changes. So, if you're a pushover, you're a person that is quite easy to manipulate. You're a person that is very, very easy to control, and you don't have a mind of your own. I'm so sorry to make it to sound like that. You don't have opinions of your own. You don't have a voice of your own. You just entirely depend on everyone around you, be it your coworkers, your friends, probably even your parents and siblings. You depend on everyone else around you to voice out what you think. Have you ever met these kinds of people that tell you, maybe you're probably in a group or something, and then they tell you, this is what I think, could you say it and then I'll back you up. I don't like your kind, but I sort of understand where that could come from. But that is something that is completely able to be worked on. Being a pushover it is not cute, to be honest. It is not cute and it will cost you a lot more than being able to say no, being able to communicate. There are a few ways you can actually tell if you're a pushover. If you've been asking yourself that question, am I a doormat? Am I a pushover? Well, there are a few signs that can actually tell you if you are. The first one is no is never in your book of vocabulary. Like you cannot say no. You can never say no. Anytime someone hits you up about something, you're always available, you're always ready to do it, no matter what it is, no matter how much it's going to inconvenience you, no matter how much it's going to affect your schedule, your plans, everything. As long as someone has asked, you can never say no. That is the first sign of being a pushover. That is the first sign of being a doormat. And it's a very unfortunate one because it will cost you a lot. It will cost you your peace. It will cost you financially. It will cost you emotionally, mentally, in so many. It could also cost you physically. Yeah, because like you literally cannot say no. The second possible, as in the second sign that you could possibly be a doormat is if you always complain about people overstepping your boundaries. That is a sign that you are actually a pushover. If all the time you are always like, this person has done this other person has done this other person has done this, every time people just tend to overstep, every time people just don't seem to, have limits with you, that is a second sign that maybe it's time to now try to take a step back and try to work on your boundaries. How to You can actually have boundaries, but you're not able to communicate them effectively, or you're not able to assert them, and having the boundaries and you're not able to communicate them, it's actually useless, because as in you have them at the back of your mind, but if you're not able to voice it out, if you're not able to talk to me or anyone in your life about it, well, it's not serving any purpose. I hope you understand that. I hope that makes sense. And another sign that you are possibly a pushover is that you tend to take up more than you can handle at the workplace or even in your personal life. Let me speak about the workplace, for example. Maybe you're at work and you tend to want to overprove your your worth to maybe your supervisor or your manager or the managerial team. So you tend to you want to overwork yourself to prove all the things that you can do. Imagine it never ends well. It never ends well. Just do your job, do the thing that you can handle, do what you can do, and go home. I'm not saying you're not supposed to perform. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just trying to say don't overburden yourself. Don't overextend yourself just to try to prove your worth. Let me tell you something. Someone that does not see your worth, be it at work or in your personal life, maybe your friends or in a relationship, someone that does not see your worth, no matter what you do, no matter even if you lie down for them to walk all over you, literally or figuratively, whatever it is, either whatever it is that you do, imagine they're never going to see it. So don't feel the need to overstretch or to kill yourself. Don't feel the need to overdo something just to prove to someone, well, this is what I bring to the table, this is my worth. No, don't do that. That is another, if you find yourself in that position most of the time, that is another sign that you are a pushover and you need to work on your boundaries. Well, if you have any other suggestions, you can, as always, you can feel free to drop them below. But I feel like this is a very personal conversation for me because it is something that as I grew up, I struggled to voice out my boundaries, but I'm very grateful because for where I am right now, because right now I literally cannot just sit down and let someone walk all over me or let someone treat me however they please. I just can't. And it is a journey. It is a beautiful journey. The transition is quite beautiful. Seeing yourself move from a pushover to someone that can actually say no without needing to over explain. By the way, that is another sign that you're a pushover. If you find yourself in a position where you need to over explain yourself for saying no, no is a no. Like, no itself can be a complete, no is a complete sentence. Someone tells me, hi, can I see you tomorrow? No, full stop. That is a complete sentence. I do not need to come up with lies or come up with excuses or over explain myself as to why I'm not able to see you tomorrow. As in, it is my time. I'm not telling you, by the way, I need to make this very clear. I'm not saying that you're supposed to be rude or arrogant or impolite. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say that you don't need to over explain yourself as to why you're not able to do something or you're not able to show up somewhere. There's a thin line between being kind and being a pushover. There's a very thin line that so many people tend to cross. There's a very thin line. Also, there's a thin line between being arrogant and being able to communicate your boundaries. I do not want us to get anything confused here. Well, as I was speaking before, like I feel like no should be a complete response. If maybe someone asks something and you say no, it should just be complete. And it's not wrong to feel the need to explain, but do not overdo it. Because if you're overdoing it, it's like you're feeling like you owe the other person what they want of you. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just trying, I hope that makes some sense. I'm not telling you, my people, to be rude or arrogant. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there should be a healthy balance between being a decent human being and not trying to inconvenience yourself to please other people. I hope if I say it like that, it will make some sense. There should be a very, very healthy balance between the two because being codependent is going to cost you a lot more than being a person that can actually say no. Being codependent is going to cost you more than being someone that people view as proud or arrogant, because you'll find yourself inconveniencing yourself in crazy ways, taking disrespect, taking hurt, taking abuse of all kinds, just because you're not able to say no, just because you're not able to communicate to someone and say, well, I do not like it when you do this because it makes me feel this. Sometimes I'm not trying to say, because like sometimes you need to communicate, you need to talk and say, I don't like when you do this. And then it does not end there. You have to assert it now, because when you communicate, it doesn't end with communicating. You can communicate it, it's okay. And then I overstep. What are you going to do about it? Because you communicated, that is the first step. It's fine, I respect that. But if I do it, what is going to happen? That is where asserting your boundaries comes in. If you're not able to do that, well, having those boundaries and communicating the boundaries are not going to be as helpful as it's supposed to be. Because a lot of times you I feel like a lot of these things come from childhood. Almost everything, how we've turned out as adults most of the time, has everything to do with our childhood. As I mentioned in my previous video, if you have not watched it, take time, go and watch it. As I mentioned in my very previous video, I was actually a bit bullied growing up. So I did not know that my voice matters. I did not understand that my voice matters. I did not understand that my opinions matters. I did not understand that I can actually say no, that I can actually tell someone that you're overstepping. Could you please take a few steps back? But now it's something that I'm actually trying to work on now that I'm an adult, because as in I am grown, I am a mother, and I have a lot of things to heal so that I play my role as a mother perfectly, so that I play it very well. I do not want to fail my child and my children to come. So for right now, let's talk about my child. I do not want to fail my child because I have some deep-rooted issues that have not been solved, that have not been handled. So I am happy to say that I have made tremendous steps as far as refusing to be a pushover is involved. I have made tremendous steps, and that is why I'm telling you there is hope for you. If you are a person that is going through this, you can start right now. You can start by practicing to say no. It is as simple as that. If it's something that is going to inconvenience you, do not try to please someone at the expense of your own peace. It's not worth it. And I am hoping that this is going to be understood the way I am intending, because I'm not trying to tell people that you're supposed to be arrogant. Anytime you think about it and it's going to inconvenience you, just say no. No, it does not work like that. Because as in, if it's work, just perform your duties, do what you can do your job, do what you can do. Let me just say, do what you can do. Do not overburden yourself. If it's about friendships, it's about relationships. I have a story about, I remember there's a time, there's a few years back, let's say 2, 3 years back, I had a bit of a misunderstanding with a friend that I held so dear, because it was like, there was one thing that was supposed to happen. There was an event that was supposed to happen, and I was not in the financial capacity to attend the event, because it was not in Nairobi. For one, it was not in the same city. It was going to be very costly to travel, and this friend actually wanted us to fly to the other city. And I was like, bro, if I do this, it's going to dismantle me the whole month, throughout the whole month. It's going to do a number on me throughout, financially, that is, throughout the whole month. I took like, I think it was like, because we had made those plans 3 weeks prior, I think, 3 weeks prior. And every day I was like, yeah, I was hyping it up. Whenever we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, I can't wait. I was faking the excitement, knowing very well at the back of my mind that I'm not going to be able to afford it. And even if I do, I am going to have to feed on Indomie for the rest of the month or bread and tea for the rest of the month, I knew how detrimental it would be on me financially for the rest of the month. But opening my mouth to tell this friend that I loved so dearly and I wanted to please with all my heart that I would not be able to attend this because it's going to affect me. That one was an uphill task. I was not able to do it. So, do you know what baby girl did? Time went by, time continued to go by, time continued to go by until like 2 days to the day that we were supposed to fly to the other city. God, that was so funny. 2 days before the day we were supposed to fly, I took someone's phone and asked the person, could you please call this person and tell the person that I fell from a bike and I've injured my knee so bad I literally cannot move. But just tell the person that you've been able to take me to hospital so she should not worry. So see, the friend did that. The not friend, that person that I gave the number of this friend to be called. I hope you understand. And then my friend now, she was so worried and she was insisting that she wants to know the location. She wants to be sent for the location so that she can come and be with me throughout the time in the hospital. My knee was not injured. I was not involved in any accident. So when my friend later came to learn that I was lying about this whole thing because I was not able to tell her upfront that I'm not able to go to that event, she was so upset that she was like, "How do I know all the things that you've told me, whether they are not lies?" So you see, our friendship was never the same again. And it's quite unfortunate because, as in, things have never gone back to how they used to be before. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. Communicating straight is far much easier, far less detrimental than being a liar, than trying to please someone, than, that is the point, that because you can lose so many people, you can lose so many things by trying to be a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser is going to come and bite you in the ass because you may think that, you may think that saying no or just communicating straight is going to be worse, but doing the opposite is actually going to eat you up more. So, to all my people out there, male or female, today I've tried to be a little bit more inclusive because I know I have a few guy friends that also, we've had these conversations, they also struggle with saying no. Maybe you're in a relationship with this babe and she wants maybe something that is way out of your budget and you're not able to say no, so you fake an argument or you fake something, or you bring up some nonsense so that you have a fight so that you're not able to do what she wanted you to do. As in, I've heard a story from one person that I know. This person knows that I'm going to tell this story. This person, he was dating this girl, and he this girl was quite a babe. She was high maintenance and all. So her birthday was fast approaching, and this guy's budget was literally 6K. That is what he says. He only had 6K to spend on this girl's birthday. But the way the conversations are going is like the girl expected way more. She expected to be taken on a vacation in Zanzibar. She expected way more. So the guy knew at the back of his mind that he is not able at all to do all these things. So the night before the girl's birthday, he just started up some things. He just brought up something. By the way, babe, I don't think that this makes sense. This day you told me this and it's not adding up. He just brought up an argument out of nowhere so that they can argue, and the next day they will not be in good terms, so that when he drops his 6K gift, it will be like, well, no, we're not talking, but I want to get you this. You get. So he tried that shit, but he tried it on a wrong one. He tried it on a wrong one. This girl was like, me, you're not about to spoil my birthday you're not about to spoil my birthday. So the more the guy tried to bring up arguments, the girl was like, I'm sorry, babe. She was very chill. She was very submissive, quote unquote. She was just trying to counter everything with like, I'm sorry, don't worry. As in, she's trying to explain herself so that this guy doesn't have any reason at all to execute his plans. So by the time he tried one time, two times, this girl saw through it, and she was like, if my birthday is the issue, if you don't want to do anything for my birthday, just straight up say that. Why are you bringing up shit from years back, things that we had already talked about, so that you are not, as in, if you're trying to spoil things for me, just say that. And this girl blatantly broke up with him because of that, because she saw through it. She saw what this guy was trying to do. And I'm like, maybe if you would have just communicated clearly, it would not have been an issue. It would not have been an issue. 6K is not so bad. Then you could have done something with that. So to everyone that is struggling with communicating and asserting your boundaries, there is hope. Coming from someone that was once a people pleaser, coming from someone that was once a doormat, someone that was once a pushover, who is not anymore, because me right now, you can't try that shit with me. Who you be? You can't try it. You can't. So there is hope. You can salvage yourself from the pits of being a pushover, because it is the pits. Being from someone that has been there, it is the absolute pits. So you can get yourself out of that. It just takes a little bit. The first step, let's just try this. Try just something simple. Just practice to say no. Practice. Practice to say no. And also another thing, don't try to take up more than you can handle. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. In the don't try to bite off more than you can chew, so that you try to prove your worth to people. Someone that doesn't see your worth will not see it, even if you grab the whole world and give it to them. So don't try to. And this, it goes as far as friendships, family, relationships, and even at the workplace. It's important to have healthy boundaries. It's important to communicate them in a healthy way. And if you have anything else to add, feel free to drop a comment. We're helping each other because life is not easy. Life is quite hard. We're all just trying to win it. We're all trying to, hack it. And no one knows everything. So if you're someone that struggles with boundaries, probably from childhood trauma, I am genuinely sorry, but there is hope. There's all everything. There are things that you can do to get yourself out of the pits, and as we have mentioned, let's start by practicing the word no. Let's add the word no to our vocabulary. Let's try to let's not feel the need to over explain it. And also, don't take up more than you can handle. Let's start by trying those 3 steps and see how far we go. Let's see how easy it will make things for us. And then we can take it up from there. Moving forward, we can be updating each other. The comment section is always open. You can be updating each other. I'll be so happy to see that maybe you've tried it and it has brought some positive impact, as it has brought in my own life, because I'm actually enjoying where I am right now, because I'm able to say that I'm no longer that person that I used to be back then. And I'm hoping that we're going to have the same testimony with someone who's watching this, and maybe you're struggling with asserting your boundaries. So thank you so much for chilling with me for a few minutes, for lending me your ears for these few minutes, and I hope I'll see you again on my next one. Please hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment if you have anything in your mind, and feel free to share. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.